to kick this thing off. Like I said a second ago, my name's Kristen. I'm editor-in-chief of asweatlife.com. If you're new to us, we are a health and wellness media publication and company based in Chicago. We create content and community that centers around helping people live a better life. And oftentimes we use fitness as the catalyst for that, but tonight we are using TikTok. So in just a second, I'm going to hand it over to Mary Kay. She's over there or over there on your gallery screen. And Mary, I'll pin you for this first part so that you have everyone's full attention. But before we get started, we host events at A Sweat Life for two reasons. So one is to try new things. So if you have your video on, give me a wave if you have downloaded TikTok or you're new to TikTok since quarantine. Someone in the chat. Nice. Perfect. And then the other reason we host events is to meet new people, which is hard to do when we are social distancing, but we're still going to make a effort. So for the next couple minutes, I want everyone to say hi in the chat. If you haven't already, tell us where you, what your name is, where you are, and tell me your first social media screen name, your AIM screen name or your first social media handle. I'll start off. I'm Kristen. I'm in Chicago most of the time. My first screen name was Chris10, like Chris 10, and then Sweetie, but it was spelled like with two E's, like a Frosty at the end instead of regular, which is a horrible screen name. It sounds like I'm not even going to say. Okay, your all's turn. Great. This would be good for my self-esteem. 00 rude girl. Daily self-care, that's actually like mature and reasonable guess. Kelsey was a superstar.
Yeah.
Are those random numbers, Kelsey? Maybe. We'll never know. B-ball girl, Bridget. Yeah, a lot of people had in their screen names when I was coming up in the internet. Oh, hi, Lydia. Don't show your video. That's okay. Protect yourself from the blue light. Cool. Mary, yours does not surprise me at all. Dancing Mary 94. Classic combination of an activity and a birth year. Awesome. I'm going to spend some time perusing the rest of these names. Oh, sorry, guys, I misunderstood. And I'm going to kick it off to Mary. So, Mary, I'm going to spotlight you so that you are in charge on everyone's screens, and let me know if there's anything else you need technical difficulty-wise. And everyone, we're excited to learn.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Mary. If you don't know me already, I am an A Sweat Life ambassador and have been for a few years. But my full-time job, I work in marketing for a tech company. We do not do TikTok by any means, but it's been an outside interest of mine because I'm obsessed with all things digital and social media. So it's been just something fun for me to do. And I was an early adopter among many people my age, and even my nieces and nephews were like, Aunt Mary's on TikTok. And so it's just something that I've just loved. And so I'm happy that everyone else is finally hopping on board after I probably annoyed everyone sending links of my favorite TikToks. So I want to start off with this. I feel like there's especially a lot of resistance in learning TikTok. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so old. Oh, I can't figure it out. If you are familiar with Brene Brown, one of my favorite authors and speakers, she calls what she calls as FFTs, your FN first times, however, whatever F you want to use. So FN first time, everything's always scary learning something new. I mean, think about whenever Facebook first came around or Instagram, it just felt weird and like it didn't feel intuitive at first, but think how much time you spend on it nowadays. So not saying you're gonna spend all your time on TikTok, but if it feels weird and like, I don't want to say like be tough love, but like get over it, you're learning something new, and just be open-minded and don't like be scared. There's always new things coming out with TikTok, and that's what partly makes it really cool, is that there's always new features coming out and you're figuring it out as you go. So that being said, you're here learning something new, and that is awesome. I'm going to share my screen. I have some slides, but nothing too hefty. I'll share my phone screen later, so you can actually see what I'm doing on TikTok. But I want to start ahead by just explaining what the heck is TikTok? Why is everyone talking about it? So first of all, to be super clear, TikTok is a video editing app that's in the form of social media. So it's not just something to share text or pictures, it's video editing. So if it feels more complicated than normal social media, it's because it's video editing. It's definitely more complicated. A little bit of history on it. It merged with Musical.ly back in like August of 2018. And Musical.ly, I never had that one. I will admit I never did that one, but a lot of teenagers were using it to lip sync to songs and do dances. That merged in 2018, and then it was bought by ByteDance, which is a Chinese company that has a very comparable app in China, except they have very different laws with their government for how their algorithm works. But we have it based here in Chicago, or not Chicago, excuse me, have it based in LA for the US area. It is growing in Chicago. There are people who work in TikTok in Chicago. I will say that. The main selling point for TikTok, my opinion, and generally speaking, why it's so compelling to everyone, is that it's the algorithm. If you have not yet opened your TikTok, you should. It's going to very quickly learn what you like and don't like. I remember when Kristen downloaded it, she was like, it's suddenly showing me all these puppy videos. It knows me so well. And like, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to follow anything. You do not need an account. You can just start, depending on, even if you don't like anything, if you scroll past it without viewing, it'll still like, it'll be like, oh, she doesn't like that, or he doesn't like that. If you watch the whole duration of the video, it'll learn that you're interested in that sort of thing, even if you don't like it. It learns very, very quickly. And that's kind of how you also get sucked in. And it's kind of how people can go viral almost immediately without having any base or following. On the other hand, TikTok's main criticism is also the algorithm. There's been especially some complaints and I guess rumors and gossip around, nothing's been like officially proven, about the algorithm being very biased and prejudiced. Supposedly there was some like documents leaked that when curating all the content for your For You page, that it does not like to show slummy areas or really granular videos that are low quality. It prefers basically the beautiful California scenery with rich, lavish lifestyles that are like often the bright colors, the good quality. That's kind of what it leans towards. And there's been rumors that like it goes against different weight issues and all that. A lot of speculation. My opinion, it's an algorithm. It's programmed by people, but it's learning and it can learn pretty fast. So I think that it's gearing towards higher quality content. So that's why it's good we're doing this workshop to kind of teach you how to make the best content, just because it's to see how it is with the feed. And that being said, I see it as a bit of a social experiment. It's a game. No one knows what they're doing. So anyone who claims, say, this is the way to get viral on TikTok, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So just take it with a grain of salt and know that everyone's still figuring it out in the process because it is so new. I like to give a little anecdote. The first time I went viral in December, I would say it was like semi-viral, it wasn't that viral. I was like at first really mortified because I thought, oh my gosh, all these teenagers are making fun of me, because I thought it was just all teenagers on the app and it was just like some cringy video of me. And then over like the next couple of days, it revealed that it was mostly middle-aged, like blue collar men based on their usernames. And it was just like kind of blew my mind. Like, these people are on TikTok and like, how are they getting fed it was just like I just really had a lot of questions, and that's kind of what got me digging more into it and trying to do my own research, just because I'm like, something interesting is going on here and I don't know what it is. So it's fun to play with, but also like, don't take it too seriously. That's about, if you learn anything from this today, is to not take yourself too seriously and not to take TikTok too seriously. So I guess the other thing before I move on to how you can use TikTok for yourself is that I really think that as a video editing app, it makes editing videos so much easier. Even if it seems complicated right now, like you don't know how to work it, it makes things really easy. I mean, like I first started YouTube when I was like 10 years old and I was making dance videos. Not much has changed. And I remember trying to make edits and things, and it was so hard. It took so long and they did not look good. And finally, like probably 5 years ago, I found a few apps that could make kind of what I wanted to put out, even though it was still pretty elementary. And now when I see TikTok, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so easy and so accessible. Like I remember like as a teenager begging my parents to like get Photoshop or video editing software, which I never got. And now I'm like, these kids can just do it for free. You don't need to give them anything. They can just be so creative on their own. With that come their own risk, of course. But as I'm assuming all of us are adults here, there's still lots of room to grow for yourself. That being said, for this, you can definitely take or leave my advice. But how can you strategically use TikTok for your brand or business, whatever it is? For large businesses, I'm going to guess most of you in here are not in for large businesses, but just in case, I think that paid media and partnerships are a really good route to go because it's so new and it's not that saturated yet. The beauty of the algorithm is that ads can be really well placed in the feed without you noticing. Like, I mean, on Instagram or Facebook, if you get a sponsored post, it's pretty obvious it's an ad and you're like, oh, give us away. With TikTok, at least so far, it seems very organic, and it's like sometimes I'll like something and be like, oh wait, that was an ad? I didn't even notice that was an ad. And I was like, whoop, like it blends really well. And whether it's with influencers or just straight ads. So if you got a lot of money or know someone with a lot of money wanting to get into that route, now is a good time to do it while it's early and pretty low. It's obviously grown a lot in the last 6 months, but relatively speaking. I'm going to guess most of you here, though, are involved with small businesses or you're an entrepreneur yourself, some of that sort. And with that, I recommend organic content. If at all, it may not feel right for you, and that's fine. If you are doing it for yourself, always recommend, like any content on the internet, to make it bite-sized, to make it clear, concise, and worthwhile. However, being worthwhile, it doesn't always have to be like the most revolutionary content you put out there. I recommend being silly. People, they're not going on like Facebook or Instagram to try to keep up with friends or get the latest trends. They're TikTok, you go on it for fun. So if you can find a balance of adding your own business, information, content while still being silly and having fun, that's what's going to be really popular and what's going to make a big difference in just how you connect with people. And I should also add that if you're trying to get people to convert over to TikTok for you, like if you already have your customer base and you're like, come follow me on TikTok, it might be hard because they're going to be like, well, you post them on Instagram, why do I need to get on TikTok? And that's totally fine. So if one thing, it's a video editing app that you can then post on other platforms, or you can also see it as a way to grow and use the algorithm to get new followers by reaching people who are interested in your content. So some examples I want to share. You're welcome to do them on your own TikTok or not. I won't share them right now just so that it's not like glitching in sounds and everything. One example is Corinne Smith. She might be an ambassador, I don't know, but she's definitely Chicago based and I know her in real life. But so she is a registered dietitian for LulaFit in Chicago. And she started a TikTok just a couple months ago and she's blown up. She has, I want to say like 20,000 followers. It could be more by now, but she's got great content and it's making nutrition easy. And it's a way to get bite-sized content and that blows up because people just don't see it that clearly and that well. And she goes with different song trends or different music trends or just overall like editing trends and makes it into what she's trying to say. And so it's very easy for people to consume. And that's why it's been popular. She does some really cool things I recommend checking out. She's also done some live TikToks, like Instagram Live. So she's kind of a good one to watch if you're interested in that. Another one I recommend checking out, her name is Elizabeth. I'm not sure her last name. Her TikTok and Instagram handle is Advanced Bitches. She is a therapist. I think I'm not going to misspeak. She's a therapist for sure, but she posts a lot of really interesting posts about her experiences with her mental health, and then but makes them into funny little dances, and they're really cute, really smart, really funny. And she's quite a bit older and jokes about like her divorce, and like she's very much with it. So I recommend watching her. She makes me laugh, and I think she's an awesome person. Another one is Caleb Marshall. If you're familiar with the Fitness Marshall, I actually met him way back in the day when we were both college and fitness instructors. He obviously has blown up a lot via YouTube and Facebook videos, but he's growing quite a bit on TikTok as well. He does a kind of fun variety. I feel like his YouTube videos, they're dance fitness videos if you haven't watched them. And they're usually very like, they're dressed up, they're very rehearsed. His TikToks are much more casual and like, I mean, everything right now is pretty casual because everyone's kind of home in their sweatpants more often than not. But he does a good variety of different workouts and different dance videos and going with the trends. And then lastly, A Sweat Life. I wouldn't necessarily call us an example because I just started it this week, but you should follow. If you are an A Sweat Life ambassador interested in helping create some content for that, let me know. We put out a couple this week. Basically, my idea with Gina and Kristen and Kelly and the team is that we want to highlight our ambassadors and show like what a day in the life is, and to make it about everyone that's in this community. Just be silly and a little bit about their life in like 15 seconds to a minute. So that is that. Are there any questions before I move on to the how-tos? I've seen some up here, I think, or maybe not. Did I see any questions or no? There are, Kristen, tell me if not, I can go on.
No, I think we're good for the moment. So
my laptop was just pinging for no reason. Okay. I'm going to stop the share here and then start the share on my phone. So I'm going to show you guys how to navigate and create on TikTok. If it helps you to follow along with me, if you are like on your laptop and it's easy for you to show on your phone, you can do so. Kristen, you want to add me? Let's see if this works. Or if you just want to watch me, and that's fine too. I'm happy to give out my notes later. I had made a little like TikTok beginner guide. So you can reference back to this, whatever way works for you. Okay, let me do that, share my screen.
While Mary's getting set up, if you guys already have TikTok accounts, I would love if you guys commented with like someone you follow already that you like, or if you've seen like a funny trend that you think that gave you a giggle. Send it to us in the chat so that we can peruse and find something different.
Please, yes. Okay, so TikTok, if you don't have it already, I recommend getting it. Basically, I'm gonna go over just the basics first, and then I'll get into actual going. I don't need to see myself as I do this. So there's 4 different options. The main one, is there an echo for you, or is it just me? No, cool. Okay, so there's 15 seconds, which is the default because one, it's easiest to share on Instagram, and then 2, it's just the basics by size for them. Then there's 60 seconds down at the bottom. If you can't see it, I don't know if maybe it's showing or not. There's 60 seconds at the bottom, as well as templates. So that's just literally a template, and they show different things for adding different photos that they blend together. And then there is live. Again, you don't need to see my face like this, but you can go live too. So 4 different options. I'm gonna show you everything on this screen right now. I'm gonna start up at the top and then work my way down. So if you have the sound at the very top, you can press on that. And this is how you can start music in your TikTok before you're making it. So you can discover, there's recommended, apparently Sax is being recommended for me a lot. You can do different playlists. They have tons of different genres, and then you can also save to favorites. I'll show you that in a second. But if you do that, you can press on it. Doing what I want. I'm wondering if it's not working because I'm sharing my screen. Either way, you can add in your sounds to record as you go. Top, you can flip your screen back and forth. Speed, I always leave mine on, but again, it's flipping my camera. You really don't need to see this side of me. But speed, you have the 5 different speeds at the bottom. So 0.3 times is going to be if you want to be in super slow-mo, 0.5 times slow-mo, 1 times is regular, 2 times if you want to be sped up, and then 3 times if you want to be super duper sped up. The way you're going to often see these is people learn dances this way. So it's been especially a trend the last couple months is to these really, really fast dances. But then if you do them in slow motion and then with the music in slow, then once you go to the next level, it'll speed up the song for you and speed up your music with you. I'll show you an example later, but yeah, you can change your speed. Beauty filter on and off for Kelly. I guess maybe I should show my face here. Your beauty filter right now, it is off and it just looks like normal camera. Beauty on, it kind of just blurs a little bit. It's nothing really that significant of an edit. There are also filters. I'm like, funny, you can, if you're looking at both of my screens, you can see both of me. But filters, you have several different, you have a ton in portrait, a ton in landscape, a ton in food, and then some in vibe as well. And you can manage all of your favorites if you like have some in particular, like, I know, I think the G6 is really popular for selfies according to teenagers I've seen. But yeah, there's a bunch of different, and then you can also just put no filter. And then also another way you can change filter is just by swiping. So it'll tell you which it is as you go. So yeah, I recommend if ever doing filters to make whatever looks as clear as possible, unless you're trying to go for a specific vibe. Just minimal edits are always better. Timer is important if you're doing things without touching it. You can either do 3 seconds or you can do 10 seconds, and then you can start the countdown there. I usually just do 3 seconds, but up to you. Down at the bottom here, also you can hide the speed if you don't like it. Effects, there are tons and tons of effects, just like there are on Snapchat or Instagram, whatever it is. You can tap to put in your specific text. I personally really like the bling one. I also like having my little mini-me's behind me. There is honestly, you can have even more. This one's a little creepy, but it's fun to do. So there are tons. You can save them. So like for me, I have this saved. You can tap on and off to bookmark it. And so I can go over here and I can see the ones I use the most. But you can go through, there's different interactive ones, different games, beauty, funny, literally all of them. I don't even know how to go. There's probably a ton that I don't even know exist until you see someone else use them. You may not know they exist, but the good thing is sorry, you can see my feet just hanging out. Good thing is that whenever someone else uses a TikTok filter, it'll show if it was used by that. So if you want to see some real ass, baby, here's your chance. I'm trying to find an example. So here, green screen was used. You can see it here. And then you go to the effect. You can add it to your favorites. And you can start it right there. So say, now I'm in some cool alley. And then you can change that. So that's an example of that. Before I get ahead of myself, you can also upload. You can do whatever you would like. Upload photos, videos, any of that. So I'm going to, I think the best way to, first, before I get on to, I'm going to close really quick. I didn't hang up all the way. when you're recording, some best practices and tips. Lighting is really, really important. I recommend having the light behind your phone or your phone behind the camera facing you, if it's on you, or you have the light behind you. You're gonna see a lot of people have ring lights. They're like, they can either be really big or really small. I had a small one in Chicago, but I've been staying at my parents', so I don't have it here. And I refuse to get a ring light, even though I know they help the quality so much and how people can do really good videos at night when you don't have sunlight, or if you're in Chicago and don't have sunlight. But there's a thing that just literally a circle and it projects light onto you. I like to just prop my phone on the windowsill, so then the window's coming behind it and it's a good little prop. Also, with that being said, I recommend having your phone propped up either at eye level or a little bit below. It's kind of funny. I feel like 5 years ago, the thing was to have like you're angled up really high, like the higher the better, and that's like not anymore. People do that to make them look like a little kid. They'll like have a camera up high and then have like a baby voice. That's like a trend. But have it eye level or below, even on the floor. That's like gonna get most in the screen too, so you don't have a lot of white space above you. It's gonna get like whatever you want to see, whether it's your whole body or just like your chest up, whatever it is. And before I get into like editing a little bit, it rarely takes the first try. It takes probably way longer than you think. I probably don't want to admit how much time I spend editing some things and trying to get the right shot. I get really sweaty doing the dances. People who don't get sweaty, I swear they practice beforehand and then perform it literally. So don't take it like, don't be hard on yourself if it's like not getting what you want it to be. Okay, so I'm going to showing my screen still. Can you guys see my phone still or no? I don't think so. Okay.
Not see your phone
No.
still. No.
Nope.
Okay, let's bring it back to
There
that.
it is.
Great. Okay, I'm gonna just do. That's a lot more makeup than I expected. I won't do the eye one. I know Gus doesn't like that one. I'm just gonna, so this, I'm tapping, I'm recording. This is the trend, leave my body. It's like, it's just a funny thing. Okay, so I'm gonna record it for 15 seconds. And then, it's not 15 seconds, but then I go next and then I can edit it. If you want, I'll show you kind of how the speed works. If you do 2 times speed, I'm going to move in slow motion. And then I'm gonna go. It's gonna go move in slow motion. I'm going to move in slow motion. A little bit faster. And then if you want to do, I'm gonna go really fast. It's gonna slow me down. And then, so just so you can see the really raw edits of what that looks like. Now, if I'm gonna do one standing up. And I have a ring on the back of my phone that basically helps you prop up wherever. I also recommend it just so you don't lose your phone or anything. But so say if you want to do a 3-second timer, starting the countdown. And then you can do whatever you want. Get down, check it down. I embarrass myself right now. And then at 15 seconds, it'll stop. Oh my gosh, it's even more embarrassing because it's going slow. That's funny. But anyway, I'll cut. Yeah, this will be ours to show how to edit. I embarrass myself by now. So with sound, I'm hoping this works if I'm sharing my audio or not. It may or may not. It does. Then you just add it in. If I want to edit what it is, so the volume, I can bring the original sound down. So if say if there's background, then I can take background music down and have the added sound only. Or if I want to lessen it a little bit and have more of the original sound, so that's that. I'm gonna try a different example to show you want to. Some reason it's not showing right now. If you see, I'm sorry you have to all keep watching me do this awkward dance, but if you see right above the music, there's like a music sign with the scissors. You can edit it so you can change it. So say if you want to actually start 5 seconds into the song instead of right at the beginning, you can change that too once you're in it. Probably not working now. You can add filters after as well. So you can swipe it. This is really an unattractive video. So I can adjust. I hate this, especially the end part. Then I can just crop it and just get rid of that. If I want to do voiceover, this is a new feature. You can talk over it. So if I wanted to explain what I was doing, you can just do it without like afterwards. You don't have to talk through it. So if you're trying to do a recipe, I don't recommend trying to talk as you're recording the video. Record slices of the videos, combine them, and then do voiceover afterwards. Okay, now you can do even more effects afterwards. And this is where it takes practice, but I think it's really fun to do. There are 5 different options at the bottom. Visual are just literally fun. So like you can just tap and hold. So as you're, no, something with the screen share isn't working, but if you like start and hold on what you want to edit, it'll add to that. Some of my favorites, and I'll include this, but like I like soul, shake, sway. I'll show you some examples of those when it decides to work. But effects, you can do, only one can be applied at a time of these 6 effects, but you can do any different camera splits. I personally don't use these that much. It may not be loading anyway. Okay, transitions are really fun too. There are ways to do transitions organically, and they're really hard to do, but I can show you some of them. But as I sound, turning on the TV, turning off, I recommend keeping brief, but not too brief. I wish I could show you guys this, but as you press on one of the effects, you hold on it how long you want it to go. So if you want it to be just for a second, you tap on it, tap off. If you want it to last the whole time, you just tap, 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 and hold. If that makes sense. Sorry, I can't show that too well with the screen share. Split is another thing too. I'll show you examples. And then you can also do time. You can reverse, repeat, slow-mo, lots of different things. Rule of thumb, I recommend less is more. So if there are tons of options you can do, and the one I'm going to teach you after is you can really go crazy with it, but it's a lot on the eye, especially in 15 seconds. So I say keep it simple, tasteful, less is more. That's the gist of that. I'm going to discard the effects for now and deal with this thing. Text is really good. Like videos that have text often get the most like engagement. So you can have a caption on your TikTok and it might help for finding better searches, but people are viewing it for such a short period of time that if they can't get the gist of what's going on, like that feeling when or whenever this happens to you, if it's not in big letters, then they're gonna swipe past it. So kind of text or caption can really help most videos. Not always, but I recommend trying to add it in. It is a little bit tricky though, because you have to keep margins on your screen, even if they don't show you that. So test, test, test. So if I had it all the way down here, I can kind of see that It's Mary Kay is like in the background. If I put it there, it's going to be hidden, so no one can see it. Same thing if you bring it over here, there's the buttons, so it's going to be hidden, so you don't want to put it there. And at the top too, it can get just a little bit cropped sometimes, so I recommend keeping it in this rectangle. So just don't get too far in the corners, keep your margins. You can also set the duration of these. So for whatever reason, this isn't playing anymore, which I'm not mad about because it's not a cute video, but if I only want the text to last for 2.5 seconds, I can. Now it's frozen on that, awesome. But there's a lag for sure in this, so don't mind that. But you can do just set duration, that's how text can disappear or not. I recommend if you're gonna do a lot of text, type it out all at once in the different bits, and then drag them so they're in the areas you want, and then do the duration last, because otherwise it gets really hard to do the duration because it'll be gone. You'll have 1 second on the screen and then it'll be gone, and you're like, how did I get that? I need to put it back. So do the duration very last if you're editing text. And then if you need to, you can, it's opposite of Instagram, you bring it to the top to delete it. There are stickers and emojis. I don't recommend using them. I rarely see them used. If you do, less is more. Personally, my recommendation, don't do it. There's no like drawing or anything, just text and stickers. Okay, so after that, going next, you have your caption. The really short captions, keep it brief as can be. And hashtags, I recommend always including hashtags. Probably 2 to 4 is a sweet spot. That's my personal recommendation. That's not supported by any science. It's just 2 to 4 is best. You're gonna often see For You page and FYP. That's the same thing. It's what your feed is called. So those are fine, but they're so generic that everyone's trying to get on the For You page. So it doesn't really help you that much. I recommend doing like, say if I'm posting for a Sweat Life, I will do a Sweat Life, fitness, workout, and just be done with those. Or another thing is really important are the trending hashtags. So these are the ones that have the thumbs up emoji, which are sponsored. And then the flame emojis are just a trending one. So Make Bake and Shake, that is a current one that's being sponsored by baking soda. So now they've got a ton of videos on how to use baking soda. Scoob Dance is a Scooby-Doo dance that's being promoted for the movie. But then Family Time, Gonna Be Friends. I might do Gonna Be Friends because I want to be with people who are gonna be friends. So you can do that. You can also tag people and friends as you're going through. Then you can select a cover. I recommend either make it a clean boomerang or a still boomerang, like it's not moving that much. So like these are all pretty slow, so they're all pretty cringy. But something that you just want, that's gonna be like your Harry Potter profile image. You wanna do that. So who can view this video, public, private, etc. If you wanna allow comments or anything else, you can add to your drafts. So drafts are awesome, especially if you aren't sure if you got the shot, like you're not sure if you got the America's Next Top Model shot, you can add it to your drafts and keep going and practicing until you get the one you like, or you can go back to it later. Okay. Any questions? I just went through a ton, I know, and I didn't get to show you the effects like I wanted, but a lot you can do with it. I will say that there is an app I use sometimes, not always. It's called InShot. Sometimes if I use too many video clips with TikTok, it'll like just freeze. It could be my dad's bad internet, I don't know. But so sometimes I will just use InShot and it's pretty comparable. I first just started using it because I'm trying to think of some random things that I will add. First started using it to do voiceovers before it was allowed on Instagram or on TikTok, and now that it's on there, it's fine. But you can do basically a lot of the same things, but if you want to do it all before you put it into TikTok, like if you prefer to have something packaged and then bring it up there, then I recommend it. But if you're like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, just don't worry about it. But that's one of the most popular apps outside to use for it. Okay, now I want to talk about how you can learn dances and creative effects. So kind of like some tips and tricks of what I've learned. Dances are a large majority of the app, so I will go into that a bit, but it's definitely not all by any means. So even just because I posted dance videos on YouTube 15 years ago, like it's not that different for me. So that's why I really like it, and it's what trends very easily, but it's not it. So I mentioned that learning the dance at 2 times is a good way to do that. Personally, I think a lot of the fun out of TikTok dances is being able to learn it for yourself. I grew up watching music videos and learning them by watching. And so for me, I've been very hesitant to do a TikTok tutorial on how to do dances. Like the fun part is learning it yourself and being like, yes, I got it, but I'll help you out. I'll just show you some tricks too. So say if I did my little Britney Spears dance, and it's sped up, so it's hard to learn. It's gonna be really iffy here, but so if I'm just trying to learn what she is doing, aka me, then I will prop it up. I'm gonna put it in 2 times. We'll see if this works or not. But this is how fast I was actually doing it when I did it, and then I got sped up. So you can just do the duet over and over again until you learn it, and you can just delete it and go back and keep practicing. That's how a lot of people learn it, because then it slows it down for you and gives you your own little tutorial. And if you're really struggling, you can do it 3 times and it'll be super duper slow. So that's how a lot of people do it. And then also people will just keep doing the video at the 2 times speed to speed it up. So like a lot of the videos, I will literally do it at this speed just so I can hit all the movements without losing the quality of movements. It's a dancer hack for sure, but I have friends who are professional dancers who do it too. So everyone does it, but it's also more fun when you're like, I did that fast all on my own. So that's my tip there. You can do either or you can literally just like watch it. So usually I would say I would do a duet with it a few times and 2 times to practice the motions. Like, oh, that's what they're doing. Then I would do it in regular speed and be like, oh, okay, that's what it is. And then I would do it all by myself. So then I'm like, I'm ready to do it on my own. And I'm gonna use the sound, and then it's gonna be already at the top. I'm like pointing in, it's at the top here, and then it's ready to go at the same beat wherever the original dancer was. And you can just start doing it. And again, you can do here. That makes sense? So you can like speed up and play with it, and that's how you kind of get a hack to it. Are there any other hacks? Transitions. Okay. I'm still figuring some of these out, and they're pretty hard, but people, they will like, I'm wondering if I have a favorite saved. I have a lot of videos and hashtags and sounds saved so I can find things, but maybe I can't find it. So there's tutorials on YouTube. That's how I learned from it. But the main popular one is, so if you want to like, imagine you're shoving, I'll do this too. So if you want to imagine you're shoving your head down and then you're not, so I'm going to film, I'm just going to like stop and hold. So I'm holding and then I'm going to stop and then I'm going to go up. I'm not recording, I'm going to record again, bring it down. And then I'm going to go crop it. So then once I go, I'm going to hold it here. Once it stops moving, and then record again. It's very choppy, but and then I'm gonna bring it down. So you'll see, and then I'm gonna often see ones like that. Or another thing would be to, I'm going to flip like this. And then I'm gonna go like this. And then like this. Like this. Just gonna crop it. This. You make it a little bit smoother. Like this. This. Oh wait, I went the opposite way for that one. Like this. This. Hold on. Then you flip. Do that like this. Like this, you flip. Okay, it's like this. Like this. This is a YouTube tutorial, trust me, it's cooler than that. I'm still working on, but that's the main one that you'll often see a lot, and people play with those a lot. Okay, it's 6:50. I'm gonna teach you guys a dance next. You're welcome to share your screen or not. That's totally fine. I posted on my story if people wanted to learn either the dance handshakes in the Hamptons, the Scoob dance, If anyone wants to learn the Savage dance, we can. I'm not too opposed either way. I guess I should also show a little bit first. There's tons of like Family Fun, Gonna Be Friends, so you can see what the Scoob dance is. So like. It's sponsored, but it's a dance because they know that's how the feed gets it. So if anyone is not opposed to doing the Handshakes and Hamptons, if anyone's like dying to do Savage, yell at me now, but
I defer to you.
Handshakes, cool. I was trying to give it a little bit PG. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it up. This one's super easy. Camera the best way I can with this. I'll leave my phone off for now. So Handshakes and Hamptons, it's just a really, really quick dance. First, and then often when you're learning dances, their side to side might be opposite. So if your camera is front facing like this, it's gonna be one way. If you have it this way or someone's doing it of you, it's gonna be opposite. Just if you know, so like, if you're like, oh, they said slide to the right, but they're actually going to the left, that's what it was. Anyway, so yeah, up. We're just gonna do step side, step side. I'm still not happy with how this is, the angle. Try this maybe. We're going to step, touch, step, touch. That's all it is first. Okay. You guys want to see it first? Maybe that'd be helpful. Let's turn on my Wi-Fi. That helps.
You know where I go and where dance.
Okay, this may not work. Let me send a link. Sorry, it's not video. Sorry, the robot music. Okay, done with that. Sorry. I'm just going to share it in the chat because if you want to watch it. But make sure, wait, am I still sharing my screen? Am I sharing it? Okay, I am. Okay. So step, touch, step, touch. You're going to clap. You're going to pick up your, I did my left foot, but you can do whatever. Left, right, clap. Step, touch, step, touch, clap, 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 clap. Okay. And then you're going to, okay, if you have done the worm before, if you're like doing that, TikTok does it differently. They do it out this way instead. So at least I did like this. Try doing it out that way. As a TikTok thing, apparently. I don't know. So you're gonna go clap, 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 out. Okay. Try that again from the top. Cross, touch, cross, touch, clap, 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 clap. Wait. Okay. Why is? Sorry, I'm trying to. My phone is being weird with the. I don't know. Next, you're going to do a punch, roll through, punch, roll through, roll it, hit, roll it up. Try that again. Elbow, swing, elbow, swing, roll down, roll up. Try that all from the top. Step, touch, step, touch, clap, 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 clap. Do the wave. Then you punch, swing, punch, swing, roll it down, roll it up. Good-ish. Last bit, you're going to swing it around, and then you're going to do a little running man off the screen. And that's it. All right, try it again. You're going to cross, touch, cross, touch. And then you're going to clap, 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 clap. Do the wave. You're going to punch, swing, punch, swing. Roll it down, roll it up. Bring it around, bring it around. Go off. Up. Go a little bit faster. And then don't be afraid to add your own flair or anything you want to do with it too. Okay, so we're going in 5, 6, 7, 8. Step, touch, step, touch, clap, 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 clap. Bring it out. Punch, roll through, punch, roll through, roll it down, roll it up. Bring it around, bring it back. Now, good. Gus is already lost. It's okay. Let's try. I'm try doing the video. See, it might end up being the screen share. I think is just giving me issues. But if you want to go along with me, first try having the speed at 2 times. So it's going to start right away. So I want to do start 3, 2, and 1. Clap, 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 clap. Roll. Bring, roll through. Bring, roll through. Roll it down. Roll it up. Bring it around. Hop it up. This may or may not work trying to record it. My screen share is not really working, but okay. Any questions? I'm gonna try doing just the music without the screen sharing so we can actually hear it.
You know,
Oops, that was still slow-mo. Can you guys hear it? Okay. So I'm doing 3, 2, 1.
You know where I go when we're dancing. Handshakes in the Hamptons and getting drunk in the mansions with you. And you look so classic. Come through with them.
That's it, that's 15 seconds. If that's too fast, I can't share my screen, but I'm doing 2 times the speed so you can kind of hear how it goes. Really slow. It's really, really slow.
You look so classy.
Okay, super duper slow-mo, but then it speeds it up. If you're doing that on your own, if not, no worries. But if you do this dance and record it on your own TikTok with that music I send it to me, and then I can make a compilation and include all of you in a Sweat Life TikTok. Okay?
Yay!
If you have any questions at all, let me know. Happy to share any of my notes or ideas with you. But yeah, thank you all for joining.
Yay, Mary, thank you so much. That was so fun. I learned a ton. I have a lot more playing to do on my phone over the next few days, hours, months. We'll send out a thank you email with some of Mary's best tips and her presentation, hopefully, and a couple other good resources. If you have any questions in the meantime, drop them here in the comments, or you can send them to us at a Sweat Life on Instagram, whatever you want, and we will make sure they get answered so everyone can be the next Charlie D'Amelio on TikTok.
And Gus, there are tutorials on TikTok as well as YouTube. So
Okay.
there are like TikToks that will say like, it'll have them type like elbow or something like that. So those do exist.
So noted. Thank you. Thank you.
Mary, thank you so much. Thanks,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
This
Thank
was
you,
fun.
everyone. Bye. Have a good
See you
night.
next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, Gus. And everybody else.
Bye, everyone.
Cool. Mary, that was awesome.
Hey, good.
That was super fun.
I could nerd out over that stuff all the time.
No, that was great. I can see some people still dancing. If you want to send me any information that you want to go out and thank you email, I'll send that out sometime tomorrow or maybe over the weekend.
Okay.
Any resources. I had a great time.
Can do. Yay, good.
Thanks
Glad
for
you
doing
did.
that. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, good. And I'm sure I'll tap you guys more for us Sweat Life TikToks.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready.
Yay. Okay.
Cool. Have a good night, Mary.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Thanks.